Chief Meteorologist Matt Lobhon here as we are tracking a potential for some active weather going into this upcoming weekend. Expectation is that we're probably going to have some severe thunderstorms because of what we call northwest flow. That's the pattern we've kind of been in the last few days, the pattern we're likely going to be in as we go into the remainder of tonight and going forward. So one of the big headlines, I think, is going to be just the fact that we're going to have some rainfall chances in this pattern as storms just kind of start northwest and move southeast. You can definitely kind of see back toward locations in Missouri and all the way up there toward Nebraska. There's definitely some more active weather that direction that's gradually heading toward us. And so the overall pattern would drag that into our area over the course of the next couple of days at various times during that time period. In fact, you can just kind of, when you start looking at a rainfall over the last, let's go 72 hours here, just kind of see that path from northwest to southeast that those storms have kind of carved. And it's likely the same zone we're expecting to be in over the next couple of days. So the severe weather risk for tonight, not really much of an issue. Storms should all die out before they get here, at least weekend before they get here. Tomorrow, that chance a little more significant, does involve all locations under some sort of risk, and most of us under a level 2 out of 5 risk there for damaging winds in particular. In fact, when we look at that wind threat, that's kind of the most impressive of the different severe weather threats for your Saturday. I think we'll probably, again, have some hail and also a limited chance for tornadoes. But you see how that's kind of a narrower band there, where perhaps we have kind of a limited chance there for a few tornadoes to try to move in. The thinking is, again, those storms kind of moving from northwest to southeast, kind of through the area, and as they do, they'll continue to be strong to severe and then maybe produce a tornado. So again, you look at the wind zone and then you look at the tornado zone there, same spots, because again, where the greatest potential to maybe see a bow echo where those gusts of wind last for longer, the same spots there, of course, where we're going to maybe try to spin up a tornado. Not a high likelihood there. And then severe weather risk that, yes, extends into your Sunday as well. Notice the trough kind of flattening out a little bit more, and at this point, again, probably going to have plenty of rain chances into your Memorial Day holiday as well. So let's kind of talk here about where things kind of go over the next 24 hours or so. So again, not expecting a ton of activity out there over the course of the next couple of hours here. As you can see, we should mean mainly dry, but notice as we get closer to dawn tomorrow morning, some showers and thunderstorms start trying to roll in from the north and west there. And again, we do show perhaps a complex of storms there up closer to Memphis by about 6 in the morning. Notice, though, comparatively speaking, what you have back out there toward, say, Oklahoma, northern Arkansas, that's a much more significant chance for some active weather by then. So again, that's what's generally heading our direction, but you can tell that certainly the first wave probably is less impressive than the next one. But no question there, that one that's back there toward Fayetteville will be the one that probably produces our more significant active weather. So let's kind of look ahead as we kind of check a different projection here. This is going to kind of go a little lower resolution. It also kind of depicts the front that this is going to follow. Another way to refer to this would be an instability axis, where, the most unstable air is, again, close to that front. Now, this particular projection shows, while we go through the morning, a few of those thunderstorms, again, getting stronger closer to the Tennessee state line. I want to make sure that I'm on the latest run here. Give me just a moment to kind of force this to go to 0Z, which is, of course, what has just kind of come out last couple hours. So let me kind of force this to the very newest one here. So give me just a moment. Okay. And so first thing I noticed, that it has that initial batch of showers being rather unimpressive, but then it has, again, that line back to the west being more impressive. So kind of holding together until it gets to the Mississippi River, and then even then, still fairly hefty. This is noon time for tomorrow. That front, kind of covering up part of the area, but what it is indicating there of the places where I think we have the most unstable air is just south of that boundary. So I'm going to pull that off there for a moment. So as we go through your Saturday, you can see by afternoon, those thunderstorms kind of rolling in somewhere in that, say, we'll go as early as maybe 1 o'clock or maybe noon if it really gets rolling a little faster, until possibly 3 to 4 to 5 p.m. Now, always get a little interested in these storms kind of popping up in advance, whether or not those are strong enough to have some rotation with them. Not a huge concern with that on this setup, but not an impossibility as well. I think more than anything, where you get that tornado threat is if you get these little kinks in the line, like what it shows there around Batesville in the afternoon tomorrow. But again, don't get attached to exact locations on that. That's something the projections just give us kind of a rough idea on. So I think wind in particular, as that line moves through, is the main impact that we will end up seeing for tomorrow. Well, okay, main impact honestly is rainfall, but the wind factor, of course, figures in as well. So that front, I'll go ahead and delete that back off here once again. And as we kind of change the projection here and look at the farther extended forecast, you'll notice, hold on, I think this once again is, hold on, let's make sure this is on the right projection. I think I got this on the wrong one. Give me a moment to get back over to that. And 0Z. And 0Z. There we go. Okay, there we are. So you can see that that's kind of the leftovers as round one kind of exits. And then we kind of go through this phase where we don't have as much, but what happens is the atmosphere reloads with more storms back to the north and west there. And so then as that kind of batch of thunderstorms gets more organized there into Sunday, notice what happens. Yet another line of thunderstorms tries to move in. One thing you need to know about northwest flow is, again, until these thunderstorms out west actually form, it's kind of waiting, kind of waiting, kind of waiting, and then eventually they get going and get a little more organized. And so that batch of thunderstorms there, this projection shows, say, 10:30 or so back out west of the Mississippi River, perhaps strong to severe into our area again Sunday afternoon. The timing on this is something, of course, we'll be editing as we go through the weekend. Our meteorologist Gabe Maynor will have updates on that tomorrow as we get a little bit closer to this. But I think there's still enough evidence there that some strong wind gusts are possible with that batch there, even into Sunday afternoon to evening time period there. We'll look at a different projection that goes just a little bit farther out. I think I have that up in here. Give me a moment. Kind of force this to do what I want. That's gone back to the current time. Give me just a moment. Make that go to, let's see if I can force that to go all the way to Monday. I might run out of data before it gets to there. And then that projection here was a little slower. See, that's one thing I want to show you is that there are other projections that are a little slower with how this could come in. And that happens again when northwest flow, we just kind of wait for the storms to really form. So again, if the timing of one of those is off at all, then that kind of skews the timing of everything else. And yeah, we kind of run out of data there on our high resolution stuff by the first part of Monday. But clearly by your Memorial Day, we'll still have some rain and potentially storm chances there to kind of work with as well. So headlines, again, severe weather risk. We expect we're going to have that in some form or fashion all the way through the holiday weekend. Your risk for your Saturday, again, all locations have one. It's a level 2 out of 5 risk. If for one reason or another, we have a much greater confidence on where that big line of storms is going to go, it's not impossible to see some upgrade to a higher risk level on this. But if that were the case, it'd probably be for the wind component there as well, which is what we're highlighting there. And then the risk, similar spots again for Sunday. Again, northwest flow storms moving northwest to southeast, and the possibility again for damaging winds and maybe even a brief tornado, not impossible with that as well. So tonight on your Friday night, we are clear, we are dry, still watching storms back to the north and west, and I expect that next batch out there toward Missouri to eventually move down into the area. Okay, we'll go and pray real quick and we'll send you all on your way. God, just keep these folks safe as we go into this weekend, and not just obviously from the severe weather, but making wise choices when out, if they're going to try to go to the lakes or pools or things of that nature. I know, I know you'll be with them and help them, but just help them to also be safe in those bodies of water, especially considering how many drownings it seems like we've had this year and last year. God, just help us with these storms. Keep us safe. And give me wisdom as necessary to help them out. Pray this in Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so I do not know how involved I'll end up being with storm coverage this weekend. Obviously, if we have tornado warnings, I'll be working my way in for that. Gabe will be watching things very closely, and as necessary, we'll all kind of funnel in. And certainly, if tomorrow morning we get up and that tornado threat looks a little bit more likely, or we're looking at a pretty sure area of 70-odd mile-per-hour winds, then yeah, I'll be in as well. But we'll see. Expect intermittent cut-ins probably as we go into this upcoming weekend. All right, y'all have a good night.